everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lisa and this is LiseLight. I'm a Danish knitter based in Copenhagen, and I talk on this channel about all kinds of stuff knitting. I might also be talking about some other creative endeavors, who knows, but for now it's mostly knitting that I've been talking about. So welcome. I'm happy that you're here. Today I want to dive into sort of a continuation of another video I did, a video called 7 Knitting Secrets that I didn't know that I needed to know. I found 5 more. There were a couple of things that I feel like I left out in the other one. And so today I have 5 more, and who knows, maybe there'll be more in the future. So if I look down, it's because I'm trying to reference my notes so I don't forget anything. And also I'll put some visuals on the screen so you can orient yourself during this this video. And let me know in the comments below if you feel the same way, if you have other things that were, I don't know, a surprise for you, because if you've been knitting for years, some of the secrets I'm talking about might not be secrets at all. If you're new to knitting, you might also, just as me, be wondering about some of these different things. So yeah, so I figured we would just go through this and have a little bit of fun doing that. Also, if you want to support the channel, please subscribe, or at least consider subscribing. If you leave a comment or a like, also, that also helps the channel out, and I really, really appreciate that. First, before we start, what I'm wearing today is what's it called, Olive's vest from Knitting from Olive. And this is knit in wool, just 100% lamb's wool. It's a DK weight, I believe, from a Danish yarn company called Vedils. I've done a lot of projects with their yarn, and it's a little bit of a rustic yarn, but not anything that bothers me. And it's just a simple construction for a slip over or vest or whatever you call it, and I love it. It's very versatile. The color is sort of a neutral type brownish, but with a little bit of heathering in it, and it's I just gravitate towards it's one of those pieces that I pull out of the closet a lot, so really enjoying that. Well, good. The first thing I want to talk about is actually the first, you could say, secret that I wasn't aware of. You know, what a big difference it actually makes is blocking. When you block your knitted pieces, it's almost like pure magic sometimes. And if you were somebody who does the blocking thing, you know what I mean. And if you've never tried it, or if you're a new knitter and you're going, what the heck is blocking? It's basically, in short, where you soak your finished or semi-finished, because you can also do it during the process. Sometimes that makes a lot of sense, but you basically soak your garment in water, maybe with a little bit of a wool soap in it, and then you leave it there for a little bit, and then you carefully like press out the remaining water, and then you leave it on blocking mats, these type of foam things, and you can actually pin it to fit the size that you want it to be. So you can manipulate the garment quite a lot, and a lot of times you get a much more defined stitch pattern and all this sort of thing after you block it. And in the beginning, when I was knitting, I never blocked anything, and I can definitely see a huge difference. Even though I feel like my gauge is pretty okay, I'm not unhappy with it. But if you tend to have a little bit of differences, you can sometimes sort of cheat yourself out of it. I'm a sewer also, and I kind of compare it a little bit to steaming your garments, because you can, oh my God, if you're sewing, it makes a world of difference to steam, to press your garment during the process of sewing it. Also, in the end, you can even make a skirt like actually several centimeters bigger or larger if you know how to press well. So it's almost like an art form, and it's a little bit the same way I feel like with blocking. And I think I put the picture up on some color work gloves, and they're definitely not maybe the most dramatic change I've ever seen, because they're definitely not perfect. They're my first endeavor into color work. But I want to show you this. I don't have a before picture, but if you've ever done cabling, you can see, if I go all the way close up, you can see how defined the cables and the stitches are. I can assure you they were not when I just finished the piece. And I was actually worried that it might not even fit me, because it was so like squished together, which is typical when you do cable work. So I mean, this was a very significant difference that I obtained by blocking it. So if you're not one of those people who block always, I encourage you to start doing it, because you might actually fall even more in love with the stuff that you knit, because I feel like it really makes a huge difference. So that's secret number one. Definitely recommend doing that. It's made a big difference for me, at least. And then the next thing is, well, of course, it's not a secret that there are different yarn qualities. And I just brought a few different ones with me, just to, like, this one is alpaca. This one is also alpaca, but a thinner, probably a little more luxurious version. This one is pure wool, like lamb's wool, with more tooth in it. And I mean, I think the secret in this, or what has been, I don't know, surprising maybe is a better word for me to see, is the huge difference it makes to the garment, both the combination of the fibers, the how much the fiber is a mix of different types of things. Also, whether it's an animal, like a wool product, or a fiber based product, if it's linen, if it's cotton, if it's lamb's wool, if it's mohair, silk mohair, all this kind of stuff. What a difference it makes. And I'm just fascinated by the fact that you can create the same t-shirt, the same garment, but just the fact that you choose different yarn types, how different the garment will actually turn out when it comes down to it. And I think that's just been so interesting, because I guess I realized when I started knitting how little I actually know about the different like fabrics that the different yarns create. And I even felt like I knew something, because I sew, as I mentioned, and I'm very intrigued and interested in so I know this world of how the drape is on fabrics that I make garments out of. But I don't think I translated that to my knitting before I actually started knitting and started investigating how some of the earlier pieces I've knit. I actually mentioned that in one of my first videos, the video where I talk about what I knit in 24. I'll link the video if you want to see it. There was one, it's a Japanese designer, I believe, a very pretty blouse that I did. You can call it a t-shirt with a lot of lace work on it. It's really, really pretty. And I just realized I think I could have made an even prettier blouse if I had chosen another fiber basically for it, because I wanted to obtain the same material as the designer did, and I didn't because of my yarn choice. And I think, I mean, that's been a huge eye-opener for me, how different you can actually turn out, or a garment will turn out if you, if you experiment with the different fibers. So fascinating to me. I gravitate towards 100%, or not maybe 100%, but definitely like pure wool. I think the only pure wool, and also pure, it could be linen or silk mohair, or but sort of natural fibers mostly. I think if I use something like polyester or that type of thing, it's usually like a small amount of it for example, sock knitting, because they tend to be more durable if you do that. But I just know I don't, even though some of the acrylic yarns you can get are really, really soft now. They are much better quality than they used to be. I just know myself, and I know that if I wear something that's 100% like acrylic or polyester, that type of thing, I don't feel comfortable in it. So there's no, I mean, some people go all posh about it. It's not that. It's just mainly that I don't think it's very comfortable to wear. So I try to avoid that. I have some yarns where there's a tiny bit of non-natural fibers in it, but I usually try to keep that as to a minimum, because I simply like the feeling of it on my body better when it's not. So that's just my pure preference. So yeah, I think it's fascinating because it's so different. Then when you also experiment with the needle size, I mean, that definitely makes a huge difference also. The third one is actually related a little bit, because it's about how crazy you can go with both color and texture when you combine yarns and colors. I think it's almost like it gives you just a tremendous amount of freedom, but it also, at least for me, let me know if I'm the only one, but actually it leaves me sometimes just a tiny bit overwhelmed as well. I mean, all this choice of color is great, but it also almost turns into, oh my God, how do I choose the right color? What do I do? Do I go with this route or this route, or what do I do? And I think that's actually what has, in the beginning of my knitting journey, I think I have definitely kept myself to more neutral colors, because I've been a little bit scared about venturing into, and I like color, but I think, a little bit scared venturing into colors that I didn't feel like were the right shades for me. And then it seemed safer to stick with some of the neutrals. But I'm definitely venturing into more color and experimenting with how to combine different yarns. But I think it's fascinating because it just gives you such a variety of results. And one of the things I want to show you, for example, this hood by N. Wenzel. This is done in Isaiah yarn, and let me see, where did I put it? Like this one, and oops, my other ball of yarn disappeared. Where did it go? Oh, it slipped. It got away. Let me see if I can find it. What the heck? Oh, here it is. So what I want to show you is this hood by Anne Wenzel. I've got fluff all over the face now from all this mohair that's flying around. This is a good example, because this color, if I put it close, I've shared it before in my podcast. I don't know if you can see the color. It actually doesn't look completely right on the camera. I apologize for the lighting. It's evening, and this is the best I can do. But this is a combination of two colors. So this is the Jensen yarn, and this color in real life is like, I think I can probably insert a picture of what it looks like. Oh, you can see it on the little picture there. It's the two together. So this is like I would call it a dusty rose type color almost. I think in Danish you would call it an old rose color. So it's definitely a muted a little bit faded type rose color. And then I combined it with this, which is, well, kind of orangey, like, I don't know, melon orange. I don't even know how to describe this color. And the combination of these two, which I wasn't sure, but I was in the store. I was like looking at them, twisting them together, and figured, oh, that looks kind of cool. Because this was almost leaning a little bit cold. And then with this, it actually turned into a more warm color, which fits me better. And then it turned into this sort of orange thing, like rusty orange color, which is really beautiful, I feel like. So this was interesting, and also the texture of it also makes it pretty interesting to look at, I feel like. So that was one example of that's actually also an example of me going into complete overwhelm of all the different colors that I could have chosen. So that was kind of crazy, but I feel like that turned out pretty well. I'm really happy with that hood. And then another recent example that I'm working on, this is the Coffee Run sweater by Kutuvak Kika. And it's, see, it's coming along with raglan. It's actually pretty. And this is a combination of 3 different colors. So 2 mohairs that are these colors. I'm almost out of, yeah, can't even show you a ball of the third strand, but this is just one strand of lamb's wool in a sort of muted green. And I bought these 2 together. I've talked about this before. And I didn't like the color it turned out to be. I felt like it looked like I was going hunting or something like that. Not the if that's your thing, go for it. But I didn't really, I felt it was kind of a boring color. And then I added this very green, like I think it's called avocado, this color of mohair. And then suddenly, I don't know if you can see the texture of it, but the color is just pretty because there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's definitely got a much more interesting color now. It's got, because it's such a simple sweater, that I feel like it carries it well, that it has a lot of nuances in it. So I really love that. So that's just a couple of examples. And when I see other podcasters, I mean, man, you guys are so good at creating all these really interesting color schemes and combinations and all this stuff. And I'm definitely learning, trying to be a little more brave in combining different things. It's not all of them that I love, but I'm trying to just venture out and get some interesting combinations. So I think that's always sort of the fun, that just by combining a couple of different colors, you can get a whole different vibe to a piece of garment. So I think that's fascinating. So that's definitely one of the things I wasn't aware of when I started knitting, and now I realize there's just so much going on. The fourth sort of secret is that knitting needles are just much more than that. I don't think I realized. I want to show you this thing. I love Facebook Marketplace sometimes, but look at this. I bought this box secondhand on Facebook Marketplace. It's like one of those like sewing kits. They claimed that it was for office supplies, and I was like, no, it's not. It's for my knitting needles. And I got it for that would translate to around $10 or something like that. I'm so happy with it because it all my knitting stuff used to be all over the place, all over the house. Now everything fits into this box more or less. So I have everything collected in this box. So that's wonderful. But I just want to show you, this is really, really old. This is what I learned how to knit on. Like one of these jumper knitting needles or whatever they called them. That's what we call them in Danish. And they would go clink, 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 clink when you were knitting, and they would be so heavy. If you were knitting like a heavy piece, it would be very heavy. And usually the way I was taught knitting, you would usually knit a sweater like in pieces, and you would sew it together in the end. So you would be like knitting back and forth on this thing. And I have a whole box of these. I don't have many left, but I do have quite a few of them. And I haven't used them at all, because that's actually not really what I need anymore. So the first thing I invested in when I started to knit was actually this set. It's called Infinity Hearts. It's a set of knitting needles that they're, oops, it's falling apart here. They're red and with red wires, and then there's all kinds of sizes. It's definitely not one of the more expensive sets, but it's definitely done the job for me for a long time. I was pretty happy with it, actually, all the way up until I started knitting this. Then I realized I was going nuts about doing the cables with this set, because maybe I can show you, because it turned out, and I wasn't really paying attention to that before, that these are kind of rounded at the, if you can see at the tip. They're not completely rounded, but they're definitely not like very narrow at the end. And so doing cables, because I quickly realized that doing cables without a cable needle was definitely my thing. I think it's way easier than fiddling around with the extra cable needle. I don't really like that method. I kept dropping in. It was just a hassle. But this was a pain to do. I almost like felt like giving up, because it was so annoying to knit on. And then I decided to invest in a different set. So I got this one. And this is Addy Click. And it doesn't have as many sizes. It goes from 3.5 millimeters up to, what is the largest? I think it's like, I can't see anything. Well, 8 or 9, I think 8 millimeter. But again, I rarely use the big ones. It's usually the smaller ones I use the most. And oh my God, what a difference. First of all, they're so smooth. I mean, they don't look maybe that much more pointed. This is one of the bigger ones, but maybe this is a better example. Like the smaller ones, they're much more pointed, and they're much more slippery, and that made a huge difference. Oh my God, this was just a joy to knit. So after I got this set, my pace doing the cable sweater just picked up crazy, because it was suddenly fun to do, and that was just because of the needles. On the other hand, when I knit my Miles t-shirt with the alpaca yarn, I started with these because I was so in love with these needles that I felt like I wanted to use them for everything. I mean, they were so slippery, like the yarn, just like I kept dropping the stitches and whatnot. So I actually figured out that this set was better. And I mean, maybe if you're an experienced knitter, you're probably laughing at me right now. But for me, that was like, oh my God, it depends on the yarn, of course. It depends on the project. It depends on how tight you knit, on all kinds of stuff. And it's basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is you gotta like try out different things, and maybe also consider investing in different sets. Now I'm really happy that I have these 2 sets. I know some of you probably have a ton, but I'm trying to not be completely wasteful and have like a bazillion sets. I'm trying to stick with these 2. We'll see if that's enough. One thing though that I also invested in, and I almost felt like I did a bad investment there. I invested in a whole bunch of these short bamboo needles with this like plastic tube, very short ones. And I was a little bit like, they're not my favorite to knit on, but I am so happy I have them, because for sleeves, they're perfect usually. For most of the sleeves that I do, I have them in all sizes basically. I mean, it's a whole set that I didn't pay a lot of money for, and I'm pretty sure that they're not probably the most solid things that I've ever seen, but so far they've held up pretty nicely. But I mean, these are really nice. I basically end up using them for almost all the sleeves that I'm doing. I don't think I used them. I can't remember what I did for this. I think I might have done magic loop for the sleeves with the smooth ones, because I don't think, but these are actually pretty pointed too, which is also a huge advantage. I don't have other bamboo. Oh, that's not correct. I do have bamboo needles because I bought also a whole set of DPNs in bamboo, and I don't use them very much because I realized after I learned how to do magic loop, I actually like that better than using the DPNs mostly. But I did use them when I did my gloves recently. I actually use them there. But I think though the next time I'm doing gloves, I might try to do magic loop because I feel like it's better for me. But I have them and it's practical. Once in a while I'll use them, and I have them in all kinds of sizes. So that's also pretty cool. Yeah. So just to say that it's a whole world of different knitting needles, and they have different purposes, different things they're good for, and some of them better than others for the different kinds of things. So that's been a bit of a revelation for me, at least. But let me know down below if you feel the same, or whether you're just going, I already knew that. I've known that for years. I'm just curious. And also let me know how many sets do you have? Because now I was just saying, I think I'll only have these two. I could definitely, down the line, I could see myself buying another set but I think it comes down to how many whips you have going on. I try to limit mine because I've talked about this before. If I have too many whips, that actually stresses me out. And I know some of you are the complete opposite, that you relax if you have a lot of whips, because that means you can move from one project to the other according to what you feel like. But I think in my mind, I feel like I have too much stuff going on. So I try to limit how many I have going on. And that also means unless the problem arises if I have two projects and a smaller project that all require the same size of needles, then I run into problems with this sometimes. But usually I have figured it out so far. But let me know how many of these interchangeable sets, because I think that's a way to go. I have a couple that are not interchangeable, but those are mostly for sock knitting. I have a 2.25 millimeter, a 3 millimeter, and a 4 millimeter, 80 centimeter long thing for magic loop for socks of different sizes. But I don't really feel like, and I also use them sometimes for my projects if that comes in handy in those sizes. But I don't think I need more of those. If anything, I would probably invest in another interchangeable set, but I just don't know which one that would be. The Chow Gu, is that what they're called? Seem like a very, very nice set, but oh my God, they're expensive. So I'm not quite sure if I want to jump into that investment at the moment, at least. All right, moving on to the last knitting secret I have. It's probably not a secret. This is more, this is maybe for you guys who are English speaking, you can probably get a laugh out of this, but it's about all the funny expressions in knitting. And I mean, I have to give it to you. I mean, the English speaking part of the knitting community, I mean, I'm cracking up because there's so many funny expressions that I didn't know. And I don't know, let me know if people who are not knitting but English speakers, do they know what you're talking about when you talk about this, or this is like an internal knitting thing? And I'll explain to you what I mean. For example, the expressions, I'll see if I can remember all the expressions that I picked up on and just thought was really funny. The latest one I've heard, and I've also seen other, I think a knitter from Germany, she has a lovely channel. I saw her also like trying out the expression potato chippy. You know, when you knit on something and you can't put it down because, for example, if there are stripes and every time you finish a stripe, you feel like you need to move on to the next one and the next one and the next one. And I understand you guys call it's potato chippy. You can't stop doing it. I love that expression. One thing also, you know, playing yarn chicken. I mean, I had no idea what that meant, but I think it's so funny because it's actually, it can bring out the sweat on your on your forehead when you're knitting, and you're so afraid that you'll run out of yarn. So I think that's a brilliant expression as well. Also sleeve island or body island, that when you for example, you're started going on the round after you have done the armholes, and you're connected on in the round, and you're just going, and you just get sick of it because it seems like it's endless, and you're kind of stuck there. That's where I'm at with this right now. I I kept measuring. This is supposed to be 30 centimeters, and I keep measuring it, and it's not 30 centimeters. It's like a little more than half. And I find myself, I keep measuring as if I magically suddenly have knit 10 centimeters when I've just done 3 rounds. But it's because it's a lot of stitches. It's a little bit boring, just going around and around. There's a little bit going on under the sleeves, but it's a little bit boring. So I totally understand that expression. And the same with sleeves. Then there's second sleeve or second sock syndrome, which I also find really, really funny. You know, when you've knitted one and then you almost can't get yourself to doing the second one because it's boring. I don't think I suffer too much from that, because I think for me, it kicks in that, oh my God, if I hurry up, it's going to be over, and I'm going to be done with it, and I can wear it. So I haven't seen myself falling into that, but definitely the you know, when you've connected it in the round, and it seems endless, basically, to get it finished. I can definitely relate to that. And you guys, it keeps popping up with funny expressions, and it makes me giggle. And I'm so happy that I'm aware of that now. So I don't think, and if there are any Danes watching this video, let me know if we have. I don't feel like we have so many like fun expressions about knitting in that sense. We do talk about knitting a lot and have expressions about, but they're not fun that way. But let me know if I missed something in Danish, but I don't feel like there's anything remotely like playing yarn chicken, for example. There's nothing. I don't think there's a fun expression. So I really, really love that. And so for you guys using it and doing that, thank you, because that's been fun for me to be exposed to. So I love that. Those were my 5 get 5 more knitting secrets that I wasn't aware of before I started knitting for like seriously the last 3-4 years. So I hope this was entertaining for you, and maybe made you smile during the video as well. Let me know in the comments what your sort of aha moments in knitting has been, because it's so interesting to read what you guys write to me. I really appreciate that. And if you want to subscribe, I'll be so happy. Also, please give me a follow on Instagram. I'm trying to also be better at posting updates on the different projects I'm working on over there. And also, by the way, I've done 2 parts now on my little series on how to plan the best knitting trip to Copenhagen. And so I'll link the playlist in the card. So if you want to check those out, the first one is about how to find the yarn stores, where they're at. And the second one is about just general travel tips if you want to go to Copenhagen, how to get the best out of your stay here. So yeah, go check those out if you are interested in that part of my channel. Yeah, with that said, I think I will just end the video here and wish you all a very pleasant day, and I hope to see you soon back on this channel. Bye.